Hello. Um, if you're watching this, my name is Heem, and this is where I talk about my life. If you're not watching this, no hello to you. Okay. Well, today was a pretty normal day, relatively busy day compared to most. I had a really key moment today that I want to talk through out loud so I can kind of gather my feelings over it. Okay. So basically, today is Wednesday, and every other Wednesday there's supposed to be a psychology club meeting, right? And that happens to be today. It was 1 to 2:30, right after, an hour after my last class. And I was in the library anyways because I had to do work. So it fits perfectly within my schedule. And today I had a lot of anxiety about going to the psychology club. And today I mustered up the courage to go to the class, or to the club meeting. And when I walked up to the door, I bailed last second, and I just kept on walking and looked into the door to see a lot of people in the classroom, and it just it ticked me off, and it ticked off my anxiety, and it really hit my anxiety core, and I ran away. I didn't run away, I walked away. But I walked away I just left the building after that. And the thing about the college I go to is that it has a really nice campus, and there was just some benches outside next to some trees and a little park area, nature sitting area. And I just sat there for a little bit, and I gathered my thoughts. And yeah, I was thinking through the entire thing and how much shame I felt throughout the entire transgressions of the past 5 minutes. And I was really beating myself up about it, you know? And I think I thought about it, and ultimately my shame comes from a couple of things. I didn't come to these revelations today. I've thought about these things for a long time, but I'm going to put my theories out there, and maybe in a month I'll watch this again and I'll come to I'll tweak these theories after doing some more introspection to see just how much they hold up and how true they are, how much truth they have. So my theories are that I think that my shame comes in a couple, or more than a couple, of different aspects. I think there's an aspect of alienation where I feel like I am fundamentally different from everyone else, which is unfortunate to say actually how I do feel. I do feel like I am different from the rest of the world on a intrinsic value level. Second of all, I feel inadequate a lot of times. A lot of my shame comes from inadequacy. I think that I grew up with a lot of powerlessness in my life, because when I was young, my parents would crush my will to do anything outside of the straight path to heaven, and what would any sort of fun or any sort of worldly pleasure is frowned upon. Just think about that for a second. Worldly pleasure is frowned upon and is not good. Just think about if you live your entire life with that mindset, just how much damage it does to these poor people, myself included. I've gone through deep levels of conditioning that are going to take a long time to heal from. But we start today, we continue tomorrow, and hopefully I get sometime in the future to that place where I decondition these ideas. But I'm not anywhere close. What was I saying? Yeah. So I think another aspect of my shame comes from when I was in middle school. And in middle school is when I had my closest friend group throughout all of schooling. Like in middle school, I had a core group of friends. And one of the ways where I think my experience of middle school that contributed to my alienation or inadequacy, not alienation, also alienation, but mostly inadequacy that manifests today through my shame. It comes from that friend group in middle school. Basically, I'm Muslim, so I can't get a computer because I'm going to do things on that computer that are not for the gain of this afterlife. The only thing I'm going to do on that computer is waste my time or play games or talk to friends, which was just not what my parents wanted me to do. So they would never buy me a computer. And my friends would spend all their time after school in Discord. They would play Counter-Strike. I think they would play some Roblox. I think they would play some Minecraft. I'm not 100% sure exactly what they're playing because I didn't have a computer. But these boys were my best friends. And I was never their best friends. That's what it felt like. Like they were the core of the group, and I was an outside looking into the group. But this was the only group I ever had during this time period. And I felt a lot of not unreciprocated, I would say love, but I don't know if I love them, but something equivalent to love. Or not equivalent, but adjacent. Like a synonym of love that's not like... I didn't have the same level of... Or I put a lot more into my relationships with them than I believed they did with me. And that also contributes to my avoidant attachment style that I am deeply engrossed in today. But when I look back at that, now, whenever I talk to someone, I have this shame/pride of they cannot get the best of me ever again because of what happened back then, where I would put my all into being their best friends, but they were best friends between each other. and I was never a part of them. I didn't feel like an equal, which contributes, and which almost solely contributed to my inadequacy that I feel today, or at least compounded exponentially onto it. But yeah. My alienation from religion and my inadequacy from past friendships have really held me back. But I think it's good to recognize them, and then I think it's good to go back in time and tell yourself why you're wrong. So in the case of religion, this deep conditioning that's in my fucking bones that is like a metabolized cancer in my body. Some metabolized bone cancer. This shit is ingrained in me. It's in my roots. My first word was Allah, God. So, you know, in terms of my conditioning, it was very deep. What was I saying? I was saying that it's good to learn from the good, or it's good to go back to your past self and tell them the lapse in judgment. So with my religion, I would say to my past self, okay, man, this is gonna blow your mind, but being a Muslim does not make you good. Being a Muslim does not make you bad. Being a Muslim ultimately means nothing. What the fuck? You're going to hell, bruh. What are you talking about? What? Shut up. You got shaitan in your heart, bruh. You need to go do some extra prayers, some extra du'as. That's what I'd say. Back to my present self. Not literally, but I'd probably be like, the fuck? You don't know what you're talking about. I say that. You don't understand. That's what I would say. I would say you don't understand, because I always think I'm the smartest. Because that was the one thing I could hold on to throughout my entire life. I had nothing. I had no friends. I had no positive identity. I had nothing to look forward to when I came back home. I hated my life. And the only thing I could say is, I'm smarter than you. I know what I'm doing. At least I know the truth. But now you look back and it's like, you don't know shit. But I would tell myself, in regards to religion, that if you were not a Muslim, that there is no equation to what that equals. There's no positive, negative. It's just a judgment that you make. It's not a rule. There's no rules in life. That's what I would tell myself. There's no guidance. There's no straight path. Well, a straight path? When has life ever been a straight path? Those who follow the straight path, their path sure wasn't straight. What? So the straight path symbolizes that oh, you just keep going forward and you don't veer off the path. As if life is just a walk forward. Life is just putting one step in front of the other uniformly? No. If we're talking on a 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional plane, you're walking all fucking over the place. You're making U-turns. You're making J-turns. You're going all the way in one direction, and then you're going all the way the other direction, realizing that you shouldn't have gone that direction. Straight path? Bullshit. There is no straight path because life can't be a straight path. The only thing that's a straight, that's adjacent to being straight is time. I don't know why I said that, but it makes sense. What else would I tell myself? I would say no matter your decision, no matter what you think about being a Muslim or not, that has no moral judgment onto you. That's what I would say. I would say that it doesn't matter. I think I've said the same thing like in 3 different ways. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe a little bit different and a little bit more nuanced, but essentially the 3 same concepts, I think. But yeah, I would say like, yeah, I definitely have said the same thing in 3 separate ways. I'm a little bit high. But yeah, I only get high after work, and it's like after 8 o'clock. Because I just be tired. I don't want to get high when I know I can be productive. But today I'm not going to be productive. It's fucking 10:23 at night. That's why I get high after work. So this is now 2 out of 3 videos being high. I don't have a problem. Get off my nutsack. But yeah, what would I say to myself in regards to my friends? I think I have a few general philosophies that apply to my entire life. Like, you are just a product of your circumstances. I think that applies in both situations, with the alienation and with the inadequacy. And I think that I think them to myself super often, but now I'm trying to think of specific advice. It's kind of hard to that specific inadequacy, shame that was being created back then. I don't know what I would say specifically. I gotta stew on it. I would say something like, people cannot put judgments or determine your value. I think that is one of the biggest issues that I ran into, is that I would tell myself, and this loops back to the entirety of my shame, is that I feel different from everyone else. I think my religious conditioning actually contributed the most to me feeling different than the entire world and alienated. But it also applies if I were talking to that boy who wasn't getting attention from his friends. Yeah, I would tell him, people don't determine your self-worth, and you are doing the best you can. You know? Everyone does the best they can with what they have. So the tools they have at their disposal, the main one being the mind. That's everyone's biggest tool. But sometimes you rely on it as a crutch for following your heart. But yeah, you are doing the best with what you have. That's applicable to today too. When I didn't go and I felt shame for bailing on the psychology club. You are doing the best with what you have. I am. It's the best I got. That's something I'm sure of. This is the best I got. You want my effort? This is my effort. What I do every day. I lead my life in a way where tomorrow I seek to improve on from today. I always want to get better. And one of the best ways to do that is with acceptance. I accept that maybe I'm not getting better. And I accept that I want to get better. And I accept that what I want is not what is happening. Wow. Do I accept that? I probably don't, but I want to. I accept that what I want is not what is happening. I accept that I accept that I have a desire to do better, and I'm not fulfilling those desires. But you know, I accept. Okay. I think that's a good place to end off. It's my longest one yet. 23 minutes. God damn. Quote of the day. I'm so dumb. I didn't think about one earlier. But it's okay. We going off the cuff. If I really wanted to think of one earlier, I would have remembered to. So I guess in a way that this was meant to happen. Quote of the day. Last time was a banger. I don't know if I can come up with one as good this time. Last one was crazy. Quote of the day is... Oh, it's what I said earlier. You are doing the best with what you have. Short and sweet. You are doing the best with what you have. All right. We out. Deuces, my gooses.